Hi, everybody. I would like to welcome my colleagues, Barasa and Trung. We can start with a small introduction that FIDIC is the International Federation of Consulting Engineers, which was founded in 1913. And it was established as the global representative body for the international associations of consulting engineers, representing now about 1 million engineering professionals in different 100 countries. In 2019, FIDIC established a new subsidiary, which is FIDIC Credentialing. This was established in Switzerland to offer certifications and professional development services to various professionals and infrastructure industry experts. Their program started with 5 types of certification programs, which is the Certified Adjudicator and the Certified Contract Manager and the Certified Consulting Engineer and Certified Consulting Practitioner, in addition to a Certified Trainer. Now we're here to chat about the Certified Contract Manager. We have only 1 exam was done last year. I think it was in December, and that was the first exam. We have Trung and Barasa who took the exam, and they are Certified Contracts Manager, and they are here to chat about their experience and to share their exam experience with us. So we can start. Yeah. Barasa.
You are mute, Barasa. Please unmute.
Yes. Sorry about that. Yes, thank you, Wafaa, and thank you, Trung, for this conference. And thank you also to all the attendants who are here with us this afternoon or morning, wherever you are. It's afternoon for me. I'm in Kenya right now. And yeah, I'm going to start the presentation. I made some few short slides, which I'm going to share with you, if you'll allow me. I'm going to share the screen. Great. There you go. Okay. So, yes, so we're just going to have a very casual chat. I don't think it's very formal. And you can interact me along the way with questions and so on and so forth. I'm just going to speak briefly about myself, then about the FCL and FCCM, which I've had Wafaa has covered just now, so that will be quick. And a bit about my experience, and then we'll conclude. And if you have any questions, you can ask them. So there we go about myself. That's the best photo I could find of me. I look a bit different, maybe less hair, yeah. And that's the best photo I could find. I have a background in civil and structural engineering. I spent my early career in water engineering before I shifted over to contracts administration, where I'm currently working as a contracts administrator. I have about 7 years experience in claims, contract administration, and of course, I have an interest in FIDIC contracts specifically. So about FCL and FCCM, Wafaa has covered that, so we'll just rush through quickly. Yeah? FIDIC, as you've known, is the International Federation of International Consulting Engineers. So I'll start from what we know to what maybe we don't know for most of us in the forum today. A bit of background on FIDIC, Federation of International Consulting Engineers. As Wafaa has said, that is a global representative body for all national associations of consulting engineers, and it represents over 1 million professionals across the globe. And in 2019, they started the FIDIC Credentialing Limited, which was established in Geneva, Switzerland. And this organization is a subsidiary of FIDIC, which offers certification and professional development services to various professionals and industry experts who wish to broaden their scope of knowledge and expertise. So FCL is a subsidiary of FIDIC, but it's an independent body, and it provides examination and certification services for people globally. Okay, so as Wafaa has mentioned this, I'll just go through them quickly. FCL currently has 5 certifications and they're all offered online. You may have heard about the Certified Adjudicator. This is for qualified dispute adjudicators who offer dispute avoidance or dispute adjudication services for the infrastructure industry. You may also have heard of the Certified Consulting Engineers. Maybe some of you are consulting engineers and you wish to validate your understanding of the operating levels of a business or firm that offers consulting engineering services. Then we have Consulting Practitioner. This is for other professionals who are within the consulting engineering profession, like candidates who have undertaken the FIDIC-YP management training or future leaders management. That certification may be suited for you. And then, of course, for certified trainers, we have many people who do training of FIDIC contracts, but they're not accredited, and they may need accreditation. So they have 3 categories for the certified trainers. There's a trainer of contracts, trainer of adjudicators, and trainer of business practice. And of course, the 5th one is the reason why we are all here today, FIDIC Certified Contract Manager. And that is for a senior level professional who is capable of demonstrating knowledge of and an ability to apply and manage the provisions of FIDIC publications related to the management of contracts during its project life cycle. So 2 keywords there that I've put in red, knowledge and apply. And basically that's what the certification is about. It's going to test your knowledge and how you can be able to apply and manage the provisions of FIDIC publications. So, of course, maybe some of you are already contract managers and you're in the profession, and some of you may not be in the profession. So what is contract management? This is my own description of it, but there are many other broad descriptions out there which you may have. Contract management can be defined as the process of creating, analyzing, and executing contracts with the goal of maximizing the operational and financial performance of all parties involved. So basically, contract management is applying what the contract says and executing it in real time or real world problems in the infrastructure industry. We move on to the FCL exam. When is it going to be held and at what cost? The application process is on the FCL website. The fees are also on the FCL website. Just be sure to know that you qualify for a discount depending on which country you're in. I understand we have some people from Tanzania, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, maybe. So please check the FCL website, note which tier your country is in and what % you qualify for. I believe most Middle East and African countries are in tier 3, so you qualify for a 35% discount, but please check, it's on the website. So for this year, the application period is from 1st February to 18th March, and the application takes a bit of time, so I'd advise you to get all the documents if you haven't started, because I think they need a recommendation from a senior practitioner, perhaps an employer's letter, your own qualification certificates and so forth. And we also, so that takes a bit of time, and also the payment process and so on. And the exam date is on 30th of March, which is about a month and a few days from today. So you still have time if you're not ready, but you can prepare for that. So for the FCCM exam, you're going to be tested on the major contract management related tasks of the project life cycle. I've listed them there. So basically from cover to cover of your contract knowledge about starting up a project, the pre-construction and tendering phase, the execution of the works, quality control, communications, that's where you have your notices, your reports, your correspondence, financial control, that's where you have your measurement, your variations, claim management and dispute resolution, of course, your DABs, your arbitration, your litigation if applicable, and of course, project closeout. So that's from the very top of your FIDIC books to the very end is what you're going to be tested on. A few questions that people have been asking is, do I need to undergo some training for this exam? And the answer is on the FIDIC website, actually. They say, this, I just copy pasted from there, experienced professionals could be equipped to pass the exam without training. If you have undergone some training, then you have an advantage because you can have some improved knowledge of the FIDIC body of knowledge books That's your yellow book, your red book, your silver book, the FIDIC Golden Principles, the FIDIC Services book, the white book, and all the rest. But training is not a mandatory requirement. If you have some years of experience in the industry, you can be able to do the exam without undergoing any training. But if you've done any of the FIDIC certifications, which they run frequently, you should be able to do it. Once you complete the exam, all you need to do is wait for your results and certificate. And I think Mr. Trung will admit that it's the most pleasant thing when you finally receive that certificate. I can't remember any certificate I've been happier to receive, actually. So this will be something. About my experience, and my experience was mine. Mr. Trung will also confirm we were the first lot to get this certification. So probably we were in the tender stage, and maybe right now things are going to get tougher. I don't know, maybe easier, I don't know. So this is just my experience, and maybe yours may be different, but I'll be happy to share my experience with you, and then you can pick it for your own chance this time. We were the first people to do this examination, so maybe they've changed a few things and so on. It's a 250-minute exam. That's about 4 hours or so. There's 80 multiple choice questions, and there was 2 essay questions after you finish the multiple choice questions. You cannot skip a question. Once you start, you have to complete that question and go to the next one. There's no pause, I'll come back to this, and so on. And since it's timed, you really have to be quick about selecting the multiple choice that you think is the best answer, so that you move on to the next question and don't run out of time. As I said, 2 essay questions at the end. We did it online within a Zoom platform, and we had invigilators watching over us. So they're going to ask you to perhaps flip the computer or the phone around your room just to make sure there's nobody in the room. Then they're going to sit there and watch you as you do the exam from the other end of the screen, as you do it on your screen, and you're going to share the screen as you do the exam. The pass mark is 60%. I think that's quite attainable. If we attained it, then it's quite attainable. And the rules for the examination will be sent to you via email a day or so to the exam. For the exam, you'll need to have practical knowledge of the FIDIC books. They won't really test you on your memory or general knowledge. At least that was my experience. I don't think they tested, for example, which clause says, which clause refers to the contractor's claims, or which clause is about variations. They really don't test on memory or general knowledge of the books. They test on practical and application knowledge, how well you know these clauses, how well you know the FIDIC books, and where they apply and how they apply. From my experience also, I saw like they concentrated more on the 2017 books. Practically, I'm more used to the 1999 books. I think most of my career I've used 1999 books. I've not used the 2017 books practically. So if you have them, please refresh your knowledge on those. And it was an open book exam, meaning you could carry the copies that you had. So I had my red book and the silver book. Unfortunately, I didn't have the yellow book. But you can bring them, if you have them, the better. The more you have, the better. The 1999 ones, the 2017 ones, bring them all to the exam room. You can also print out the golden principles. This one's on the FIDIC website, fidic.org, I believe. Yes, on that website, fidic.org, golden principles. They're not for purchase, it's for free. So you can download it and print it. And I remember a couple of questions, maybe 1 or 2 were from there. But you'll also need to go, I've said they focused on the 2017 books, but you'll also need to go through the 1999 books as well. I remember 1 or 2 questions from the silver book. Most were from the red book and the yellow book, but it's better to broaden your scope and know how to apply all the 3, red, yellow, and silver, and as well 1999 and 2017. And if you can perhaps touch on the green book, but I can't remember if there's anything on the green book, but you may as well go for those as well. On the screen now, if you can see, that is just it's not from the exam. I can't really remember the questions which came from the exam. It's a bit long ago, probably 2-3 months. But if I remember how the questions are being formulated, it's like you can see on your screen. Some of them were asking, for example, which of the following is not correct, or which of the following statements is correct. or and so on and so forth. And you have 2 possible answers or 3 possible answers or only 1 correct answer and so forth and so forth. So for this template that I've given you, it says A, the contractor has no obligation to deliver the performance security to the engineer. B, the contractor must deliver the performance security to the employer within 28 days. And C, you can see between B and C, the only difference is the number of days, right? And then D, the contractor must ensure the performance remains valid until the performance certificate is issued. And E, the employer must first consent before the contractor decreases the amount of performance security. So these questions are not really testing, they're not really asked. First of all, there's no reference to which clause performance security relates to. So you really need to know which clause performance security relates to, and you need to quickly rush to your book and open it up and see what it says about, what the contract says about performance security, for example. I mean, this is just an example. It could be about anything, claims, and as I said, they tested from cover to cover, from the start of the contract to the end. So for the 1999 books, that's from clause 1 to 20, and for the 2017, clause 1 to 21, you really need to know the provisions of each of them and how they're practically applied in practical cases. For the essay questions, this is also just an example. What I saw was they gave you 2 essay questions and they're fairly similar. And the first part is they specify which contract it is. So the contract is the 1999 Red Book, or the contract is the 2017 Silver Book. So at first instance, you need to know why that book has been selected for this case study. If it's a silver book, you will then know that this is an EPC contract, or if it's a red book, you'll know that this is a construction contract, but they'll tell you which book they've selected the problem from. And then that, of course, informs how you're going to answer the question. In this case, they say the engineer nominates a subcontractor, the contractor does not object to this nomination. Then from the outset, the subcontractor fails to perform, workmanship is not according to the contract, and there's not enough labor and supervision. Then they ask you, what should the contractor do? Or what should the engineer do? Or what would you do if you are the employer, and so on and so forth. And then you have 600 words to write. So I guess if you are given a question on claims, for example, you'd have to say the contractor should first give notice, then after within 28 days of the event having arisen, then you go blah, 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 as you would apply in a practical situation, and not really memorizing or knowing what comes. So that's just an example. I'm not saying this is what came in our exam. It didn't actually. This is from a training site that I found. And but the structure was about fairly the same. And I'm not saying this is what will come in your exam either. So that's it for number 1, 2, and 3, unless you have any questions. I wish you good luck and all the best.
Okay, thank you, Barasa. Trung, would you like to add anything?
I would like to contribute some experience that I think might be helpful from my point. Yeah, let us share my screens. Okay. Maybe it's I start from this. Yes, you can see my screen, right? So I would like to mention one book. That is the FIDIC Contract Guide. This one. This one is the one that I think will be very much helpful for use, because it makes use, especially there's some question on the comparison between the red book, yellow book, and silver book. Some of us are more familiar with some type of work. For example, for me, most of the time on the silver book, some other guy specialize in the red book. So this one, the FIDIC contract guide, is especially helpful for you on a comparison. This one, of course, not listed. This one is not listed in the list of books. However, during your preparation, I suggest you to have a look on this FIDIC contract guide. Second one is regarding the FIDIC procurement procedure guide. Yes, it was listed on the website as one of the documents. And for I found that some question about few questions on this procurement procedure guide. That is my first tip. My second tip is going to the maybe you can see for some they prefer to use the soft copy available on their laptop. For me, maybe it's good, can maybe useful for some, but maybe not suitable for the other. But for me, it's the books that available on the table is quite convenient to reach when you do the preparation. And thirdly, this is some in English, some in Vietnamese, but my point here is the time is quite tight. Yes, this is my schedule for myself or for the, for example, after some 30 minutes, intend to finish 20 sentence question, but actually I can do only 12. Something like that. So at the end, I have to rush us for the remaining one. So I would like to recommend you that control your time more tightly, so that for me, maybe I have this luxury of the half book, but I spend much time to confirm for each question at the beginning. So I look my time at the end, and at the end I have to rush up. So if I take the exam again, I will prefer to only a quick look, and if I decided I make it only for something I not really understand or not sure I can have a look on the book, not goes every question go to books. It may be waste your time. That is my suggestion. And it will be if you have set time for the question, then you have more time for the essay. That is from my actual experience. I have only few things to contribute to Barasa. His preparation is so wonderful. That's all from my side. Thank you.